Ever wondered about Kamala Harris's heritage? Well, buckle up, buttercup, because this is one spicy black and Indian love story. This flick's got Denzel-level drama. Picture this, Idi Amin, the president of Uganda, pulling a total power grab in the 70s, kicking out all the Asians. Our guy, Olo, a Ugandan, is giving his Indian BFF, Jai Loha, a serious, dude, you're gonna get us all killed speech after Jai blasts Amin on the BBC. Jay's all, Uganda is my home. Olo's like, not anymore, buddy. Africa's for Africans. And no, not in that way. Things get heated, and Jay's family, wife, Kinu, and daughter Meena, are suddenly packing their bags faster than you can say, Idi Amin. Goodbye, friends. Airport shuttle, here they come. This is one wild ride. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a roller coaster. Kinu's tearful goodbye, car keys clutched tight, leaves Jai stony-faced, ignoring some seriously fake friend on the bus. Then bam, gunpoint. Soldiers hassling poor Kinu, mocking her music, talk about a downer. She escapes, traumatized, but finally years later, they're in Greenwood, Mississippi, at the Monte Cristo Motel, their relative Anil's place. Meena's scrubbing floors, Kinu's slinging Slurpees, and Jai? He's busy suing Uganda. Wedding day chaos. Meena, borrowing Anil's ride, buys a sea of milk, and wham. Rhea ends some guy named Demetrius, a vain-ass man, I'm told, who owns a carpet cleaning biz. Insurance exchange? Definitely a creative way to get a number. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jay's still suing. Our man's again writing to the Ugandan government about his land, 5 years of radio silence. Talk about a stubborn streak. Meanwhile, his car's totaled, and Israel's throwing a hissy fit. Pontiac's warning him about lawsuit-happy citizens, even suggesting Demetrius might fake an injury. Then Key Napkin, yes, Napkin, says he can handle Demetrius. These names, I swear. Later, Demetrius' dad, Villain, is thrilled his ex, Alicia, is back and invited her to his birthday dinner. Anil's wedding is on, with the gossip mill churning, dating a darker-skinned, less well-off Indian guy. Apparently, a total disaster. Kinu, being the ever-practical Indian mom, wants Harry Patel to marry Meena. Because, you know, breeding's important. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this wedding reception went off the rails. Harry Patel, fresh off the nuptials, whisks Meena onto the dance floor, only to have her reunited with her ex, Demetrius. Poor tikka masala is left alone with his samosas, while Meena's chatting up Demetrius. Then, bam, Alicia arrives, clinging to record producer Sylvester, and delivers a killer line, I'd rather be with a broke Demetrius than that 50-year-old. Alicia's rubbing her success in Demetrius' face, slow dancing with Sylvester to maximize the burn. Demetrius, stung, drags Meena onto the dance floor right next to them. Harry, he's left in the dust, clearly lacking the necessary swagger. Later, Demetrius gives Meena a ride home, introduces her to Tyrone, who tries the Latina line, only to be schooled on the chapati tortilla difference. Back at the motel, Jay's nursing a drink while Pontiac drops a truth bomb about Jay's betrayal. Jay's response? Cruelty has no color. And finally, Meena tells Kinu about her night. She's keeping mum on the whole drama rama. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a whirlwind. We've got tikka masala cravings, a mystery of missing Jai, and a whole lot of family drama. Harry's dodging questions, Demetrius is dodging lawsuits, thanks to some seriously smooth napkin-based negotiation, and Tyrone's just trying to keep the carpet clean. Meanwhile, Meena's juggling bathroom cleaning, college dreams, and a whirlwind tour of continents, from Africa to England to Mississippi, landing smack dab in the middle of Demetrius's family dinner. And Jai, well, he's wrestling with fatherly guilt and the importance of education, all while Meena's reminding us that there's dignity in every job. It's a roller coaster of emotions, folks. Buckle up. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this story is a roller coaster. Meena spills the tea on how the Brits shipped Indians to South Africa for some serious railway construction, talk about forced labor. Then, bam, Alicia shows up at a party, Meena's all, hey, I'm Meena, and Demetrius gives Alicia the cold shoulder. Oh honey, he chose you. Next thing you know, Demetrius and Meena are off to a bayou, sharing, some intimate moments. Demetrius, smooth operator that he is, tries to book a motel room while subtly suggesting a romantic getaway to Beloy with Meena. She initially says, no thanks, but then, well, let's just say she reconsiders. Meanwhile, Jay's finally gotten a response from the Ugandan government after 6 letters about his citizenship claim and lost assets. The letter's a game changer. Court date set for September 23, 1990. But before that, Meena wants a beach sleepover with a friend. Unbeknownst to Jay, it's a friend with a penchant for back-breaking shenanigans. Finally, a romantic stroll for Jay and Meena, both sharing their emotional journeys. What a wild ride! Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a wild ride. Pontiac's convinced he saw Meena and Demetrius getting cozy at the amusement park, but Anil and Napkin? They think he's smashed. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, or, the bedroom, Meena and Demetrius whip up a watermelon curry before bed. Birthday wishes are exchanged, but Meena's sweet dreams are haunted by last year's Ugandan birthday bash, where Armin's racist rant sent her into tears. Fast forward to a childhood trauma, Meena discovers a corpse in the backyard. Adult Meena jolts awake, shaken, only to be comforted by Demetrius. But Pontiac's suspicions are far from over. He spots Demetrius's van, tries to warn Anil and Napkin, but they're still in denial. Anil, defending family honor, bursts into Demetrius's room, to find Demetrius topless and Meena, less than fully dressed. All hell breaks loose. A brawl ensues as Anil attacks Demetrius, who's suddenly all muscle and counterattack. 90 pounds of appu, piece of cake. Meanwhile, Pontiac's dialing 911 because Demetrius is battling a napkin. Meena's trying to break it up, Anil's screaming, murder, and bam. Demetrius and Meena are in cuffs. Jai and Tyrone bail them out, but Tyrone later gives Demetrius a serious talking to, apparently, bringing Meena to, boy, whatever that is, and sleeping with her at home is a bad look. Meena's crying to her parents, claiming she's a grown 24-year-old stuck in a soap opera of her own making. Love isn't a crime, she wails, but bringing shame to the family is, according to her mom. Meena apologizes for the chaos, but not for Demetrius. The gossip mill explodes, communities clash, Demetrius' phone's blowing up with blocked calls, he's losing clients faster than you can say, namaste, and the bank's threatening to repo their van. Tyrone's had enough, he's ditching the whole mess and heading back to LA. Leaving Demetrius even more heartbroken. Talk about a roller coaster. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a roller coaster. Demetrius storms into a motel to confront Meena, only to get booted by Jai. Demetrius explodes, yelling about their love and how Jay's actions are tanking his representative in business. Jai counters, saying Meena can love whoever she wants, but he doesn't want her to face the racism he endured. But Demetrius fires back, pointing out Jai and his crew are being the racists. The whole thing blows up when Jai mentions something about these Indian folk acting a bit too white, ouch. Then, bam, Jay's BBC interview implodes, landing him in cuffs before a hefty bribe secures his release. He spills his guts to Meena, explaining their Uganda escape, all because Okolo declared, Africa's for black Africans. 34 years, poof, down the drain over skin color. Jay's heartbroken, trying to shield Meena from the pain, saying people stick to their own kind. But Meena reminds him, Okolo risked his life for him. That's Lao, people. Yet, Jai leaves him heartbroken, and Demetrius calls his lawyer. What a mess. Whoa, hold on to your hats, folks, because the drama's cranked up to 11. Turnbull's suing Neil, a ball fight injury, can you believe it? He tries to strong-arm Neil into a quick settlement, but Jai steps in, calling it a total sham. Anil's freaking out, but Jai promises to handle it, then kicks everyone out before things get really messy. Then bam, Demetrius sues Neil for 50 grand, forcing a hasty retreat back to Uganda. It's a brilliant strategic move to keep Meena away from the upcoming court hearing. Jay's fighting tooth and nail to win back their property. He's not going down in some strange land. Meanwhile, Anil's dad lays down the law, apologizes to the still packing Lohas, while Jay's secretly relieved about going home anyway. But wait, Meena's done a runner in Neil's car. She tracks down Demetrius, who's busy building a new empire in Indianola, and the suspense is killing me. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a roller coaster. Demetrius explodes, blaming his ex for keeping a huge family secret, a vendetta against black people, after she announces her African homecoming. He confesses using her to make Alicia jealous, but then, gasped, he admits he fell for her. Mina nearly snaps her neck at that revelation. Their plan? Escape Mississippi. Mina's in. She'll even be his business partner. Demetrius dumps his old buddy villain, announces his newfound happiness and new love. Mina even gets Anil's car back, and, in a twist, convinces Demetrius to drop the lawsuit. But wait, telling Jai and Kanu she's ditching Uganda and staying with Demetrius? Oh, that's gonna be a fight. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this movie is a roller coaster. Kinu, heartbroken, tearfully lets Demetrius and Mina go, but not before extracting a promise from Kinu to get Jai on the phone. They're off to greener pastures in Demetrius's van, leaving Mississippi in the dust. Meanwhile, Jay's solo flight to Kampala reveals a shocking secret: his old pal, U, vanished in 1972. No wonder he never answered those letters. Jai visits their old house, a poignant reflection on a lost Uganda. He writes Kinu, spilling the U beans and declaring the lawsuit's a non-issue. His home is wherever she is. The film ends with Jai strolling, taking in the vibrant street performers. Now, was Mina a little too quick to jump into Demetrius's arms? Or did she make the right call? After all, they're both stunning. What you think?